Welcome back to Movie On. Today I'm going to explain the movie called Kong, Skull Island from 2017. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care, and I hope you enjoy it. At the beginning of the movie, we saw the scene of 1944, and it was the time of World War II. The world was collapsing. Meanwhile, an American plane crashed on a remote island in the South Pacific. The name of the pilot was Hank. Hank saw that another plane crashed on this island. It was a Japanese plane. Since there was a war going on between Japan and the United States, both of them started to fight with each other. Meanwhile, the two giant hands came on top of the mountain. These were the hands of a giant ape. And now the scene shifted to 1973. We saw a man named Bill, and he was the head of Monarch. Monarch was a government organization of the United States. He went to the senator and showed him a map of an island. Bill told him that no one else in the world knows about this island. It's only mentioned in mythology. The name of this island is Skull Island. It's said that God has left this place incomplete. Whoever went there with the plane or ship has never come back. This place is more dangerous than the Bermuda Triangle. In 1954, the US did a nuclear test on this island. But it was not a nuclear test. They were trying to kill something. And if we go to explore this island, we will find so many valuable things. But the senator didn't allow them to go there. Actually, they needed funds for this exploration. But when they told the senator that 3 days later, the Russian satellite will orbit above the island, and then they will have the image of the island, and they will find it out. And after hearing this, the senator allowed them and provided them with funds. In the next scene, the whole team went towards the island. James Conrad was also on that ship. He had fought in the Vietnam War, and James will guide them in this whole journey. They went closer to the island with their ship, and now they need to get there in a helicopter. But there was a big storm in front of them, and that's why one of them wanted to go there. Bill told them that we will never get this chance ever again, and we must go ahead. They agreed with Bill, and they entered the storm with their helicopter. There were lightning strikes everywhere. But when they crossed the storm, they finally reached the Skull Island, and the island was so beautiful. After reaching there, they've dropped several seismic bombs on that island. Seismic bombs are not meant to harm anyone. They just create a vibration under the earth so that they can find out what's inside. They saw that under the island it was hollow, which means there were mineral resources underneath the island. They dropped so many bombs around the island, but suddenly a tree hit a helicopter and they crashed. Before they could understand anything, they saw that there was a giant ape standing in front of them. It was so big that the helicopters were like a toy. They started to fire at the ape, and it got so mad at them. It destroyed almost all of the helicopters. The people who survived the helicopter crash were divided into two teams. James was leading one team, and Bill was leading the other. The colonel was in Bill's team, and he was so upset about losing his men. He pointed the gun towards Bill and asked him to tell him everything about this place. Bill told him that 30 years ago, I was on a ship called Leoton, and the ship disappeared forever. There were 1,000 people on that ship. I was the only survivor of that ship. Everyone knows that the ship had sunk, but no, our ship never sank on its own. A giant monster drowned our ship. I kept telling people for 30 years about this, but no one believed me. Monsters still exist in this world. They ruled the world before us. If not today, then tomorrow they will find us. And they will bury us in the ground, and once again, they will rule this world. I want you to take us out of here with full evidence, so that we can show the evidence to the military, and then we will come back and kill these monsters forever. On the other side, we saw James and his team. James told them that we need to get to the ocean by following the river. Our ship will stay there for the next 3 days. Somehow we will send a signal to them, so that they can rescue us from here safely. When they were walking by the lake, a giant cow came out of the water. Everyone was so scared after seeing this, but James told them not to shoot. Since they didn't shoot it, the cow didn't do anything to them and left. They walked for a while and found some strangely shaped stones, and then some tribal people surrounded them from all sides. James and his team pointed their guns towards them, but before they could understand what they should do, Hank came there. Hank was a US soldier whose plane crashed here in 1944, during the time of World War II. He told James and his team that he will not harm anyone, and after that, Hank took them to the village. There was a huge ship there. Hank told them that this ship came here 10 years ago after my arrival on this island. When they entered the ship, they saw that there was a statue, and so many portraits of that giant ape was inside the ship. The people of this village worship the ape. All the people of this island are totally silent. They never talk. They have to take a vow to stay silent for their whole life. Hank told them about the ape. He told them that the name of that giant ape is Kong. He is the king of this island. He protects everyone on this island. When my plane crashed here, a Japanese plane also crashed after mine. The pilot of that plane became my friend, but under this island, there are some strange lizard-looking creatures. They ate my Japanese friend. I call them skull crawlers. One of those lizards is so big that he had eaten the whole species of Kong. Kong is the last of his kind. There's a saying that if Kong dies, then the giant skull crawlers will come out from the ground, and they will destroy everything on this island. Mason asked Hank that why did Kong attack us? Hank told her that this island is the home of Kong, and if you bomb someone's home, then he will also treat you like Kong. And when you dropped the bomb, the skull crawlers came outside. But luckily, Kong killed them all. If he didn't kill them, then all of you would have died. James told Hank that we need to get to the other side of this island in the next 3 days. Our ship is waiting there for us. Hank told them that you can't even get there in 30 days. But I have a boat, and with that, we can get there in 3 days. But first, we need to repair it. On the other side, we saw that Packard, Bill, and their team members were moving through the forest. But suddenly, a giant spider attacked them. They were able to kill that giant spider. One of their team members had been separated from both of the team. His name was Chapman. When he went to the river to drink the water, he saw that Kong was going through the river. Kong didn't see him. When Kong was drinking the water, a giant octopus attacked him. Kong killed that octopus and left. After that, Chapman sat on a dead tree. But it was not a dead tree. It was also a kind of creature. And he ran away from there because the skull crawler was in front of him. And this skull crawler killed Chapman and then ate him. On the other side, we saw that all of them were repairing the boat. There was a photographer named Mason with them. She went to the other side of the village, and this side was closed with a wooden wall and trap. She saw that their helicopter landed over a giant buffalo, but it was still alive. Mason wanted to help that buffalo, but the helicopter was so heavy, and that's why she was not able to move it. But suddenly, Kong came there and lifted the helicopter with 2 fingers and saved the buffalo. Mason got so scared after seeing Kong, but Kong didn't attack her. Rather, he looked at her with a look of hate and then left. The next day, they were moving towards the other side of the island in their boat. On the way, their radio started working. They told the other team that very soon we were going to reach you. The leader of this team was Colonel, because Bill had died. But then a giant bird-like creature attacked them, and they took one of their team members with them and killed him. After some time, they found the second team, and now they need to go in the direction of their ship. But the colonel told him that I needed to go to the west because Chapman's helicopter crashed there. Actually, Colonel Packard didn't know that Chapman was dead. Hank warned them that we should not go towards the west because the skull crawlers stay there. But the colonel told him that your job is just to show us the way, and we need to find the lost soldiers as soon as possible. They agreed with him, and all of them went towards the west. They reached a valley of skeletons. Hank told them that these are dinosaur skeletons, and Kong's family members. And when they moved forward through the skeleton valley, the skull crawlers attacked them. Along with that, those giant birds also attacked them. They were able to kill the birds and the skull crawlers. Hank told Colonel Packard that we should get out of this place as soon as possible. This is the area of the skull crawlers. But Colonel Packard does not want to leave without Chapman. James showed him the locket of Chapman and told him that he had found it inside that skull crawler. This means he is dead, and we should go back. But Colonel Packard told him that I needed to get to his helicopter because there were so many firearms in his helicopter. We can kill Kong with those. After hearing this, Hank got so shocked and told him that he better not kill Kong. He protects this island, and the people of this island worship him. James told Colonel that Kong didn't kill Chapman. He was killed by the skullcrawler. We are in danger because of the skullcrawlers. But Colonel Packard said, I will kill the skullcrawlers along with Kong, because he had killed so many of my men. James told him that if you want to get to the helicopter, you can, but I will get to our ship with the others so that we can stop him. After that, Colonel Packard went towards the helicopter with his army soldiers. After walking for a while, they found the helicopter, which was full of weapons. On the other side, James, Mason, and the other people were walking towards the boat. James and Mason climbed the mountain to locate their ship. When they reached the top of the mountain, it got dark, and the next moment, Kong appeared in front of them. They got so scared after seeing Kong, but soon they realized that Kong does not want to harm them at all. Mason had already met him once, so she touched him, and both of them realized that Kong was just a giant peace-loving ape. Suddenly, they saw an explosion in the forest. Colonel Packard and his team did this explosion. Actually, they have set a trap for Kong. When Kong reached there, he fell into their trap. He got so badly burnt and fainted there. Now they want to kill Kong with bombs. But before they could do it, James, Mason, and Hank came there. They pointed their guns towards Colonel Packard and told him not to kill him. Colonel Packard told his men to kill them all, but now his men were also against him, because they know that Kong is not their enemy. Skull crawlers are their only enemy. Suddenly, a giant skull crawler came out of the water, and before he could kill them all, Kong woke up and squeezed Colonel Packard with his hand. Now Kong and the skull crawler began to fight. Everyone else started to run towards the boat, and when they were running towards the boat, the skull crawler attacked them. But before he could attack them, Kong hit him with a big rock. After that, they started to fight with each other once again. Meanwhile, Mason went to the top of the mountain and fired the flare gun, so that the people in the ship can get the signal. On the other side, Kong got trapped by chains while fighting with the skull crawler. The skull crawler was about to kill him, but the soldiers began to shoot at it, so that they could distract it from killing Kong. It went towards their boat, and Kong freed him from the chain. Actually, this chain was the anchor of an old ship, and the chain was attached to a blade of that ship. Kong attacked the skull crawler with that blade, and because of the shockwave, Mason fell in the water from the top of the mountain, but Kong pulled her out of the water. We saw that the skull crawler was still alive. Kong put his hand inside the mouth of that skull crawler, and he ripped off